Welcome to Revlog, where I think we're going to need multiple takes this morning. It has been start, restart, boop. Yeah.
I think I read the Old Testament. I'm not sure.
Aaron has not had his caffeine this morning. BR needed to go back to his trailer for wardrobe,
makeup.
Yeah. But
you look great.
We got it all settled.
It's good to see you, Pastor.
I'm glad to be here. I think I'm ready to go. If you two are ready to go,
sure.
are we good to go? Did you get you finally got some caffeine?
I did.
So maybe this will be better as we move into Revlog this morning.
As we go,
it'll get better.
He'll perk up.
Aaron bloom.
Yeah, I like perk up. That was that's better.
Okay.
Today we continue in 2 Peter, chapter 1, verses 12 through 15. We get this moment where Peter is acknowledging before them that Jesus said he would be martyred. Jesus had told them this before, and now he's seems to be coming to that realization of the imminence of his own mortality, the end of his life, and so he's writing with some vigor here. With them. Brian, why don't you help us get started in this, because he's kind of starting the letter, but he's really kind of jumping into the heart of what's going on in his own heart and what he wants to share with them. I mean, what's your initial reaction to these verses here?
That he is oscillating back and forth between the temporal and the eternal. He is attempting to navigate his mortality here. And he's feeling that the last time that he visited this subject that we know of, probably not the last time, but the previous time that he visited this subject that we know of was with Jesus. On the shore of the lake, and the Lord told him how he was going to die. He gave him this this piece of his future, and
which is a remarkable piece of intimacy between the two of them that had to be kind of difficult for Peter, but a moment of sweetness with the Lord
it was difficult
in
because
connecting
right
with
after
Jesus.
that he said, "Well, how about John? What's going to happen to him?" And let's talk about that. But it was an intimate moment, and I think Peter could not take it all in, of course, in that moment. And excuse me, bless you. And so he's reflected. I'm sure he's gone back over the years to that, to that time, and turned that over, and had and probably prayed about that. But certainly he's reflected on that and maybe talked to close friends. I don't know. But here he shows a resolve here. But he also shows this deep concern. It's not an anxiety, but it is a very deep concern he says, I'm not going to be here to see you through on this. And so I need to tell you this. And of course, you know this already. So there's sort of this oscillation between, I know you know it, but I do feel the need to say this to you again. I need to try to lock this down before I go. And he is, and yet it's not ham-fisted, really, but it is this concern of Peter in light of his imminent departure from this realm.
I mean, it's this moment.
It's a care. It's a kind of a pastoral care and concern as he is leaving.
I mean, he recognizes he's likely about to die. And there's some things on his heart he wants to share with people he cares about. Right. There is some
and this is
instruction
more. It is instructive, and this is more pressing than how he will die. It appears that he is not afraid of that.
Right.
But he is very concerned about what will happen to the way. as he leaves.
And trying to do his best to care for them as he approaches death.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. It's a noble thing for him to do, as he does. Aaron, what's your initial reaction to this text?
That I agree with everything that Brian said.
Oh, good grief.
So I'm watching a certain science fiction series.
Oh, I knew.
I won't name names, but in this series, a character.
Is this a spoiler alert? Is that where this is going?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I mean, if a certain character knows his death is coming and knows the manner of death in which is coming, and I was thinking of you as you're talking about that. It paralyzes him at the beginning. When he discovers how he's going to die and how that death is going to affect others, it paralyzes him from doing what he was called to do, what he loves to do. And I don't want to get too exegetical here because we don't know how Peter reacted to Jesus first. You're laughing at me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think there's much Star Trek theology here that can
Chris
benefit.
is laughing in the face.
He is. I think this is a good.
That is good. I'm sorry. Continue.
This is good content here.
We don't know
Chris is laughing.
how Peter initially reacted because how many people, as you said, how many people know the manner in which they're going to die? All of us know that we're going to face of death, but once, and so
but Jesus gives him some pretty sort of clear indication of how and what it's going to be like that none of the rest of us have.
That's right.
That had to be remarkably difficult for Peter to process and work through. To your point.
It may have been paralyzing.
It may have been paralyzing.
I would
at first.
think
for a while.
Jesus knew the manner in which he would die.
Right.
And we did see it paralyzed him to a degree that his soul, was weary and weeping.
Great point.
Yes.
Great point.
And so
that almost became too much to bear.
exactly.
Yes.
Jesus, yeah.
And yet he persevered. And
Yeah.
yet
My soul is overwhelmed to the point of death.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would imagine Peter would have a very human response to that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
But here we see, and this is the beautiful thing, we see this, I have dealt with that. I have come to terms with that. And beyond the fact that I just see it coming towards me, it's what can I do to make sure that whatever I leave, I have left it all out. I am, is it Paul that says I'm being poured out? I am, drink offering, it's all gone. That Peter can say, I've given you these tools and more than that, Jesus has given you, the Spirit has given you these things. And here are some indications that you can use to see how you're growing. Yeah. And so when I'm gone, that you can still persevere.
Right.
And so,
well, and it is instructive for us that Peter knows his death is imminent, and he's using that time to care for others, and how he's still trying to best utilize this time to pour into them and to care for them. Is really a holy thing that he does for them.
So your mocking of my science fiction notwithstanding, I think there is some parallel there.
No, absolutely there is. Absolutely there is. VR, what question do you have about Star Trek? No. What question do you have about the text?
I do have some questions about Star Trek, but for another time. How can I best experience the fact that I am going to die?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the memento mori. Remembering your death, focusing on the fact that you are mortal. We don't do enough of that, and so. How can I do that in such a way that I live in light of my mortality?
Yeah, and I think that's really helps us as we come to 2 Peter, because one of the things it seems like the false teachers are denying is that Jesus is going to come back. And to that end, Jesus often said, be ready, be prepared for when he will come back again. I think it's a similar line of thinking of how do I confront that and live my life in a way that is God honoring every day. Yeah. And whether that's facing our own mortality or longing for Jesus' return, I think there's a similar attitude and behavior that comes with that.
Mm-hmm. Right? And different people have wrestled with that in different ways through the years, both Christian and not. And there's that Invictus, that poem, I think whatever gods there may be, for my incomparable soul. This is not what we see with Peter here. This is a soft
right.
Space for the work of God in the world and the people
Amen.
of God.
And what about for you? What question do you have of the text?
Do I need to know the manner in which I'm going to die before I am convicted to pour out on others, or am I content to just know that an end is coming, and I must use the time that I'm given and the gifts that I'm given to pour into others?
Yeah. Wow. Well asked. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on this text as well, if you'd comment below.